Hey yo, what it do? Cheeky crew. Alright, so today we got a pretty basic video. You could probably tell by the thumbnail, the video title. I'm just going to be explaining my top three favorite fighters in each division and my honorable mentions as well. Well, some divisions will have a few honorable mentions, some won't, alright? But yeah, let's just get right into this right now with the flyweight division. All right. So for the flyweight division, my top three favorite fighters are Joshua Van, Tatsuro Taira, and Charles Johnson. I got some honorable mentions, Loki. I really do enjoy guys like Manel Cap, Andre Lima, Felipe Dos Santos, and of course Brandon Moreno. Those guys, there's a lot of lovable flyweights, but none that are really like hype worthy or like hate worthy even. I like there's barely three hateable flyweights, but that's besides the point, right? So I'll just rant about why I like him. For Joshua Van, I really like his striking. He's a great striker. He's like a mini Max Holloway. Crazy takedown defense as well. Very slick. He's I sorry. I haven't seen him have a really boring fight. He's had some like not the funnest fights. Like for example, the Ray Saruya one that just happened, right? That one's like but that's because Ray Saruya shot like fucking 30 takedowns. And Joshua Van had to be worried about stuffing them all and couldn't really get the action going. And even then, he was piecing him up. He dropped him with a body kick. Ray Saruya faked a fucking nutshot there, which fuck him for. But yeah, I just really like Joshua Van. He's a cool kid. For Tatsuro Taira, slick grappling. Beautiful stuff. Excellent submissions. The fucking hello everybody, I'm happy, thank you. Love that shit. He's a very lovable kid, you know. Great prospect, 26 years of age. Gotta respect it, you know. And yeah, great fighter, great grappler, great personality, future flyweight champion in my opinion. And for my third, Charles Johnson, he's got a shitty ass haircut, which I like. He fights 4 times a year. He's from St. Louis. I've got a thing for St. Louis fighters. You look at it: Sean Woodson, Joaquin Buckley, fuck. Well, obviously Charles Johnson, and there was someone else I forget. But yeah, I really like St. Louis fighters as well. They've got like a certain aura around them. But yeah, I really like Charles Johnson. Power puncher as well. Never really has a boring fight. Out of all 4 of his fights in 2024, not a single boring one. He did pretty good against Ramazan Temirov, which, I mean, he shouldn't have lost to him, but seems like Ramazan is a pretty good fighter. But yeah, that's my top three for the flyweight division. All right, for the bantamweight division, my top three favorite fighters are Peter Yan, Vinicius Oliveira, and Felipe Lima. Sorry. Peter Yan, obviously, masterful technician. I come from a boxing base. I've been boxing for a good few years now, and he's the most beautiful boxer in the UFC, most technical boxer in the UFC. If he had the power of Ilya, he'd be a triple champion. That's all I'm saying. And his grappling is beautiful to watch too. Excellent, perfectly timed doubles, which are hard to pull off nowadays because everyone can fucking defend a double. Excellent single legs. He has those little trips that he used on Aldo and Aljamain Sterling, which are beautiful. And yeah, great fighter all around. Loved his fight with Figueiredo. I want to see him in the octagon against Umar next, if they're really doing Sean O'Malley versus Merab Dvalishvili for UFC 316. Such a shame. But if they are, then, you know, They gotta they gotta do Peter Yan versus Umar. That's the only fight that really makes sense to me in there. Because they've got Figueiredo, Sandhagen, they've got all that stuff. But yeah, for Vinicius Oliveira, excellent striker. Love the way he just moves. Put a clinic on Ricky Simone. He had that beautiful come from behind knee knockout against Bernardo Sopage. He's an honorable mention. I love Bernardo Sopage. And I know this is an unpopular opinion, I love Merab Dvalishvili. I love Davison Figueiredo. I enjoy Rob Font, too. I find myself not really rooting for him, but I enjoy Rob Font. But yeah, Vinicius Oliveira, great fighter all around. That Saeed Nurmagomedov fight was an absolute clinic he put on with a broken rib. Crazy thing to do. And obviously, finally, Felipe Lima. Love him. Great fighter. Great prospect. I have him as a future champion personally, or at least future top 5. He's 26 years of age. He's such a great, talented fighter. Brazilian, Swedish, fighting out of Sweden. Same camp as Gustafsson. Excellent technique. Submitted Naimov, I believe, on short notice, like a week's notice. Submitted him up a weight class. And then fights Miles Johns. It was supposed to be at 135. Miles Johns couldn't make the weight. Ends up at 145, I believe. And schooled him there too. He did get I think it was either dropped or stumbled, which was very scary, but he won that fight pretty cleanly. And yeah, great fighter, great kid, great prospect. All right, for the featherweight division, my top 3 favorite fighters are Alexander Volkanovski, my brother in blood. Greek brother right there. Diego Lopez. Fucking love Diego Lopez. And for the third spot, I got Hyder Emil and Gene Silva at the tie. I can't really choose between the two of them. I really love both of them. And for my honorable mention, I like guys like Bogdan Grad, Morgan Charrier. Um, fuck. I like Arnold Allen. I like Aljo. Well, I'm partial to Aljo, and I enjoy a good burrito fight as well. So yeah, those are my honorable mentions. But for my first pick, obviously, Alexander Volkanovski. I've always been a huge fan of his. As I said, me and him, Greek blood brothers here. I have a huge respect for him. I believe he's the featherweight GOAT. I believe he's top 5 all time personally. I got it at GSP at the 1, Mighty Mouse at the 2, Jones at the 3, Islam at the 4, and fucking Volk at the 5. Right? I believe he's top 5 all time. He has so many good fights. You rarely see him put on a snoozer. Like his worst fight in recent memory was, I believe, the Aldo one. Yeah, because he did do a bit of clinching there. He pulled a Bautista. You know what I mean? He made the game plan. But either way, for my second pick, Diego Lopez. How could you not like this kid? He's a great fighter. that was a shitty impression. That was like halfway between Dana Pink and Joe Rogan. Fuck. But either way, yeah, I really like Diego Lopez. Excellent off of his back. Great striking. He just throws hands, man. Very traditional brawling style. It's very fun to watch. Not the most technical, but even then, it's pretty technical. If it's getting you to that high level, it's pretty technical. But yeah, I would love to see him incorporate a bit more wrestling so he could set up his submissions better. He has a black belt in it. Imagine if he had the ability to take down a Movsar. That would be beautiful. And for my number 3 fighters, I've got Jean Silva. And fucking Hyder Emil. Tied for the number 3 spot. I love both of them. Hyder Emil, great fighter. Excellent wrestling. Beautiful Muay Thai clinch striking. He uses that jab like it's money. He defeated Gomis beautifully. He did excellent on the Contender Series. He throws these massive combos. I really love Hyder Emil. He has beautiful boxing, beautiful wrestling. It's excellent, right? And an undefeated fighter. I have him as a future top 5 guy. I could see him be champion. I hope he's a champion. Because like all these guys are picking Gene Silva and like Movsar Evloev, Diego Lopez to be like a champion, right? I want to see Hyder Emil be a champion here. I feel like he's heavily underrated. Great fighter, entertaining fighter. He's sort of like a younger Volk. That's what he reminds me of. A younger Volk. A little less technical, a little more clinchy, but a younger Volk. Better Muay Thai, I would argue, in the clinch at least. But yeah. And as for Gene Silva, I love Gene Silva to death. He does have a lot of potential to be a future champion as well. He's obviously a showman. He obliterated Bryce Mitchell at the press conference, had him seething like a preteen. No, not a preteen girl, a teenage girl going through her first puberty. Fuck. I fucked that up. Had him seething like a preteen girl going through her first period. Okay. My bad for screwing that up, y'all. But yeah, no. Beautiful trash talk, beautiful fighting, excellent knockouts, all around highlights. How could you not love Gene Silva, right? With that being said, I would like to see a Hyder Emil as champion over him, just because, like, how do I say this? I really, really like Hyder Emil and would like to see my, like, underrated pick for a future champion be correct. That's what I would like to see. They're both young guys, both great fighters. So it's like they both got plenty of time to do it. I wouldn't be upset at either one of them being champion. I wouldn't be upset at any of these guys being a champion. But yeah, there you go. Those are my picks for featherweight. On to lightweight now. All right, for the lightweight division, my top 3 favorite fighters are Arman Sarkarian, Max Holloway, Esteban Ribovics, and Yoel Alvarez. I got Esteban Ribovics and Yoel Alvarez tied for the 3rd here because I fucking love both of them. There's a lot of other lightweight guys I like. I love Beneil Dariush. It's a shame on the downfall he's gone on. I enjoy Islam Makhachev. I'll be rooting against him though when he fights Ilya because all these fucking daggy glazers are glazing Ankalaev so badly that I just need their pound for pound number 1 to get dethroned violently. Just to see them cope. And I don't really like Ilya. But you know. Plus, if that happens, Islam moves up to 170, gets double champ status, it's good. It's chill. But if he wins, I won't be upset either. But either way. Yeah, and I like a Dustin Poirier. I enjoy Paddy Pimblett. I love Ignacio Bahamondes. I was rooting for him. Mateusz Rebecki. Rabisti, bro. Love him. My tobacco Orobai, obviously. But anyways, my number 1 pick being Arman Sarkarian. He's a great fighter. And I bring that to you because I think he's going to wrestle against Charles Oliveira. That Chael impression is so shit. I'm not even going to lie. But what's the fun in impressions if they aren't shit? You know what I mean? But either way, I like Arman Tsarukyan a lot. I've always rooted for him. For one, he's Armenian. He's Orthodox. Same religion as me, really. Only difference is like the sect of Orthodoxy. And similar culture. I have Armenian family. I have Armenian godparents. So like I always lean towards that group. You know what I mean? But outside of that, I think he's an excellent wrestler, an excellent fighter, and he's got more finishes in his last, I believe, 7 than Dan Hooker. And they've all been exciting finishes. His one decision. Sorry, no, he had 2 decisions. They were against Damir Ismagulov and Charles Oliveira. And those were both really fun fights as well. He's a very fun grappling based fighter. Excellent ground and pound. He's got good boxing. He's got the best kicks at 155. Beautiful kicks. He snaps them up perfectly, right? And I really just love it, right? For my second pick, I got Max Holloway. Pretty obvious. He's a fan favorite. I was rooting for him against Justin Gaethje. I've never really liked Justin Gaethje. Always liked Holloway. He's a really cool dude. Just chill Hawaiian surfer, dude. He's just a chill guy. But yeah, BMF for a reason. Great fighter. I can't name the last boring fight he had, really. He's set significant strike differentials on his opponent's faces. It's beautiful, right? Some of the best boxing, great chin. I hope they book him against Dustin Poirier, the trilogy in Louisiana for Poirier's retirement fight. I would generally prefer Poirier versus Gaethje because I want to see Gaethje get his head knocked off by Poirier. But the thing is, sorry. The thing is, Poirier, like Gaethje has said, he doesn't really want the Poirier trilogy, and Poirier, he wants it, but like he's not pushing too much for it. I just hope they do it, man. I wouldn't mind a Dan Hooker rematch either. I feel like Dan Hooker deserves it for Poirier, but that's besides the point. Really like Holloway is what I was saying. And for my number 3, I'll go with Esteban Ribovics first. Beautiful uppercuts. He won that Nasrat Haqparast fight. Give Nasrat to Ziam. Feed him to Ziam. Or Turner or whatever if Turner decides to stay. Feed him to one of those guys, right? And give Esteban Ribovics. They say Bum Time's the best matchmaker on YouTube. He's pretty good. He's a pretty good matchmaker. I have a personal issue with his Ribovics matchup. I think Ribovics should fight either Mateusz Rebecki or Mytabek Orabai. He wants to see him against Elves Brenner. I like that fight. It's a good fight. I think against Mateusz Rebecki or Mytabek Orabai, that would be a beautiful fight, right? But anyways, Ribovics, great fighter. Sometimes he throws more than 70 strikes in a round. That's fun. Lands more than 70 strikes in a round. That's really fun. The Sphere Card Fight of the Year contender right there. Just a great fighter all around. And obviously, Yoel Alvarez, I want to see him win because the more he wins, the better that win ages for Arman Tsarukyan. But also, excellent finisher. Finds new ways to finish people. He's knocking guys out and putting them in guillotines at the same time. It's beautiful. Excellent fighter. He's like a taller, more like he's a taller Charles Oliveira with more knockout power. You know what I mean? Like, it's really fun to watch. And he's just a cool dude. But yeah, so those are my picks for lightweight. All right. Oh, crap. So that playback feed screwed me over. But anyways, my picks for welterweight. If y'all don't know, welterweight is my favorite division. One of the best divisions of all time historically. It has my favorite, one of my favorite fighters of all time as its GOAT, Georges St. Pierre. He's my personal GOAT. But yeah, for welterweight, I got my all-time favorite fighter at the number 1 spot. The Bilal to my bedtime. The Adesanya to my Okoyo here. Joaquin Buckley. New Mansa. I love the way he speaks. I love the way he fights. He's a little ball of muscle and it's awesome. He gives me like he's just fun. He's fun. I don't know how else to put it. He's a great trash talker. I love his like shitty sense of humor, his reels. It's very fun. Buck versus Cuck, that was a banger. Line Buck versus Duck for the Colby fight. Excellent. I mean, yeah, shit. I liked the Conor McGregor call out. I thought that was really funny. I wish he called out someone else, obviously, but I feel like people coped too much over it when it was clearly a joke, right? But yeah, fucking love Joaquin Buckley. That wheel kick, not wheel kick, the kick, the fucking highlight against Impa Sagane. Love that shit. I mean, undefeated at welterweight. He's my personal prediction for champion in 2026. All right, at the end of 2026. I don't know when it'll happen. Usman and his wobbly cobbly knees haven't been. He won't be fighting for a while. It might be October when Joaquin Buckley gets his next fight, which is such a fucking shame because he beat Colby more impressively than Usman did. But anyways, yeah, I really like for my second place pick. I really, really, really like Michael Morales. This kid, 26 years of age, excellent boxing, great grappling, extremely well-rounded. I think give him another year, he beats Shavkat. That's my honest opinion. One of the best prospects in that division, already ranked. He beat Neil Magny more impressively than Carlos Prates did. Severely underrated. I am picking him against Gilbert Burns. He will not only beat Gilbert Burns, he will knock him out cold. He will finish him brutally and send him down a 4-fight loss streak, which I say good riddance. Fuck Burns. But anyways, for my number 3 spot, this is where I get a lot less emotional. We got Jack Della Maddalena. I enjoy Jack Della Maddalena. Great boxer. Love what he did to Kevin Holland. He schooled Basil Hafez on the feet. That shouldn't have been a split decision. That should have been a 29-27 is what it should have been. But anyways, great fighter right there. Love, love, love Jack Della Maddalena. I will be rooting for him against Bilal, but also I might not really because I feel like Bilal's a far easier matchup for Buckley. And that's what I really care about. But like whoever wins, I won't be upset. Bilal also beats Shavkat pretty easily, so it's like, he'll hold on to that belt for like 2 defenses and then drop it to Buckley if he wins that shit. But anyways, yeah, some honorable mentions. I really like Carlos Prates. I love Carlos Leal. Got a huge thing for the Carloses, obviously. I enjoy Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal's a great fighter. Who doesn't love a Shavkat? Shavkat's fun. Wonderboy, love Wonderboy. Great fighter, lovely fighter. Love watching his YouTube channel for advice. Michael Venom Page, I considered putting him on the list. Chose against it. Kevin Holland, I was considering making him like the original profile picture for this channel, if you look back in the old days. But I don't know, man. That Jackson podcast, that DeRitter stuff, put me off of him, man. Like, he was cool back then, but like, he fell off hard. It's like, I don't know. And fuck, who else do I have? Ian Gary. I don't care what anyone else says about Ian Gary. Shut down. Sorry. So sit down and shut up. I like Ian Gary. I hate to say it. I like Ian Gary. He seems like a really cool dad, and I respect that. And he's not the worst fighter. He did most of the action in the Shavkat fight. I enjoy that. He's a cool dude. I won't judge his personal decisions. If he wants to be a cuck, let him be a cuck. There's no issue with being a cuck. I just feel bad for him. No, there is issue with being a cuck, but like not enough to make me be like, oh, I hate this guy. No, he seems like a good dad. I feel bad for him. I feel like he's being taken advantage of here. But like he seems like a genuine good guy. And I respect that. He'll be top 5 for ages, in my opinion. But yeah. So that's the welterweight division. On to middleweight, my second favorite division of all time. I really like middleweight. All right. So for our middleweight picks, we got Dricus du Plessis Nasruddin Imavov and Anthony Hernandez. I really, really love Dricus du Plessis. He's probably my top two favorite champions right now. It's a mix up. Well, Alex isn't champion, but in my heart, he still is. Hank didn't win that fight. That shit was a robbery. But anyways, so yeah, I guess Dricus du Plessis is my favorite champion right now. Then, yeah, um, yeah, I fucking love Dricus. I love his wonky style, like a gorilla on roller skates. As Robert Whitaker said. But yeah, love him. He's a great shit talker. Always has been a great shit talker. He's like the best shit talker we have in current MMA right now. He's an excellent fighter. Relies on his physicality a lot, but God is it beautiful. And shit, he only gets better with every fight. Nasruddin Imavov, I just like the Frenchman, man. He beat Brendan Allen. I don't like Brendan Allen, you know what I mean? Two of these three guys have beaten Brendan Allen. Maybe there's some correlation there, he knocked out Israel Adesanya. He's just beating all the guys I fucking hate, I mean, he had a close fight with Strickland in the rematch. I think he knocks him out. Hope they do that. You know what I mean? Strickland came in 20 pounds heavier than him, so it's like, of course it was fucking unfair for him. But anyways, yeah, crisp boxing. The most beautiful boxing in the middleweight division, in all honesty. Good wrestling as well. Great kicks. He's like, it's strange seeing like a Western Dagestani too. And it's very fun. He's like up there with a Ziam in that sort of case. Anthony Hernandez, fucking love Fluffy. Have been loving him since the Kopylov win. That was a beautiful submission. The Michel Pereira fight was awesome. He really is just a middleweight Kane with more submission ability, right? He's like a mix between Kane and Khabib, and it's beautiful. Like he has like Khabib's, I guess you could say, submission game, and Kane's like top pressure, all that stuff. Like he also has Khabib's power because Kane had a lot of power. Anthony Hernandez, not as much. But yeah, very good chin on him. Beautiful wrestling. That fight against Brendan Allen was one of the most beautiful wrestling matches I've ever seen. Great submission game. Excellent ground and pound. He's like a Marab that finishes people. I love it. Some honorable mentions. I really like Rainer D. Ritter. I like Paul Craig. I like Kyle Baralho. Kyle Baralho's up here. Robert Whitaker, I really love. I watch his fucking podcast, for Christ's sake. But yeah, really like him. Who else? Roman Kopylov, very fun pick right there. Bruno Ferreira, love Bruno Ferreira. Jared Cannonier, Unk still got it, man. Unk still got it. I usually find myself rooting against him because he's fighting people I like more. Like a Kyle, like an Imavov, like a fucking... Well, I wanted to see him... I sort of wanted to see him beat RoboCop, but I also didn't because I think RoboCop was a really entertaining prospect in that division. But he wouldn't have made it far. But yeah, anyways. So those are my picks for the middleweight. All right, for the light heavyweight division, we got our top three. Alex Pereira, Yuri Prochazka, and Khalil Roundtree. Now, Alex Pereira and Yuri Prochazka, they're like very close together. I just like Alex a bit more since I find his striking to be very beautiful, and I like his activity level, right? But Yuri is great too. But both of these guys got me into the sport heavily. Like, they're the reason I'm here today. They're the reason I'm recording this. I own Full Violence shirts for both of them, right? Yuri Prochazka, Lucas Tracy hyping him up. Like, there was a video of Lucas Tracy hyping him up that just came onto my For You page one day. And I watched it, right? And I was like, oh, this is cool. I see he's, like, got a pay-per-view. this week I should watch it, right? I watched the pay-per-view. Instantly got me into the sport. I loved that shit. And so it was like, damn. I like there's an instant connection there. And for Alex, it's the same thing. He really got me into the sport with that, with all his fights in general. The Izzy fight got me into the sport heavily. But yeah, I really like the both of them, and they're both like great fighters. They're great people. They're inspirational. I like the way they're very humble. That's very nice. And they have insane dynamic striking. It's awesome. It's sick. And for Khalil Roundtree, shit, man, his story is inspirational. He's a cool talker. He was a guitarist or a singer for like a band. He's got insane screamo vocals. Great fighter. Loved the fight with Pereira. He's just an all-around cool dude. I just like him. And some honorable mentions: Dominic Reyes. Should have been champion. Great guy. Zhang Minyang or whatever the fucking Chinese dude's name is. Love his striking. Love his KO power. Umar Sy, only guy in that division with an ounce of submission skills. Love that. Shit. I'm blanking. I know there's another one. Shit. Where is... Caught it. Bogdan Gushkov. Love me a Bogdan Gushkov. And now, onto the heavyweight division. My top 3 for the heavyweight division. Damn, I thought my thing froze. Sorry, I was already having some track issues. Had to redo this whole sequence right here. Yeah, no, my pick for the heavyweight division. I don't really like a lot of people in the heavyweight division. So my number 1 is Tom Aspinall. I think he's a great speaker. He's an honorable man. Great role model for the youth. Fun fights. Really good violence. Full on violence. KO power. Dynamic striking. Insane submission grappling. My number 2 is Shamil the Meal Deal Gaziev. His fight with Thomas Porky Pie Peterson, great fight. Great KO. I just like him because he's like wholesome. Good fighter. Good chicken. As Bedtime likes to say. As Bum Time likes to say. But yeah, very, very, I wouldn't say an insanely fun fighter, but he's like reasonably fun. I like him. He's funny. That's the best part of watching him fight. Like, even if he's having a shit fight, you just laugh at him because of how fat he fucking is. It's really funny. And for my number 3, I got Alexander Volkov. Love Alexander Volkov. Shit, man does his hair mid-fight. I picked him against Sergey Pavlovich. I just like him. I like him. He's cool. And honorable mentions: Telson Teixeira, cool striking. Been high on him since before the Contender Series because he's a somewhat athletic heavyweight. Mario Pinto, same thing as Telson Teixeira. Walter Walker actually has submission skills at heavyweight. Very nice. Those are all of them. Yeah. So that's the video for today. I'll have a UFC 313 matchmaking video coming out tomorrow, hopefully. And yeah. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment. Love comments. And yeah, thanks for watching. These are my favorite fighters. I'll try to keep like 2 uploads a week, maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe 5. I'm working on all that. But yeah. Thank you all for watching. Have a lovely day, y'all. And yeah. Thank you.